Okay, Mr. Dormammu man.
Dormammu? 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 That ugly pillock isn't fit to clean my glorious arsehole. And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies.
No.
All right, give it to me.
No. Yes, the following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Da na 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 na
I
na na
am
na.
Iron Man.
Dun, 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 dun.
Or I am Ironheart. That's how the song should go. But yeah, we know. Go. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Notice you bullying host Leroy, aka I remember when the Punisher was just a comic book character. With my co-host.
Yes, this is Eli, aka Kicking Wing.
What's hard? Okay. All right. So and we also have our third co-host, the Doombot, or Natalie, or whatever the hell you want to call yourself this week. Skynet,
Oh,
whatever.
hail the Doombots, yes.
They're back, they're here. All right, so you've seen the thumbnail. So you know we're going to talk about the season finale of Ironheart, or should I say series finale? We'll talk about it. We're going to get there. But before then, we have to do our due diligence. And they came in flooding. I mean, July just started and just came flooding in. So yes,
The
we have to
fourth.
do our due diligence. It's the 4th. I mean, it was like crazy. So yeah, and there's some important people in our lives and, you know, that we have to talk about because they had an impact on us. And it's a comic book podcast. We got to talk about the comic book people first. Matter of fact, I want to talk about them first, and I'm probably going to spend the most time on them. I want to say rest in peace to Jim Shooter.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
this is-
That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
This is not the guy from Happy Gilmore. Okay.
Shooter
That's
McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. Yes. Not the same guy.
No, this is Jim.
Yes. Jim Shooter.
Motherfucking Shooter.
Shooter. Respect the Shooter. Okay. Before we get into it, Eli, I do want, how much do you know about Jim Shooter?
I know. I mean, I don't know. Like you want me to give a number? I don't know. But he was his name was pretty much in every comic book I read as a kid.
In the 80s?
In the 80s, yeah. He was like the editor, right? Editor-in-chief.
He was editor-in-chief, yeah. All right, let me get into some detail about it, because I ain't gonna say I've done research on Jim Shooter like over the years. Just found out about it. Jim Shooter is a fascinating character. Here's the thing, Eli, when we always come on this podcast, we all talk about, oh, this guy was so great and everybody loves stuff like that. Jim Shooter wasn't that guy. Jim Shooter is a complex, complicated character when he was there. He's controversial, if you want to say that. So, first getting started off, like I want you to let you know that this guy, first off the rip, this guy is the greatest editor-in-chief Marvel has ever had. He's the GOAT, ever. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you how important this guy is. That funny thing about it, people don't even realize this, that there was a one time DC used to outsell Marvel, like by a large margin. But in the 80s and the late 70s, when Jim Shooter took over, that's when all of a sudden this shift changed from DC to Marvel. Now, some of that was DC's fault because they just did some stupid shit like the DC implosion. We may talk about it, not going to talk about it. But the point is, another thing was the same thing that Jim Shooter did. Like, if you think about the greatest stories that Marvel ever told, most of that shit was in the 80s under him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he started writing. Matter of fact, he's a legend in 3 comic book companies. He started in DC when he was 14. Like, he was writing comics at 14. Mm-hmm. Legion of Superheroes writing this shit. Then that's when he came over to Marvel, and he was hired directly by Stan Lee. I think he was Stan Lee's replacement. I think that's what he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Stan Lee went to Hollywood, did some shit whatever like that. But anyway, he was taking over like that. And then when he took over, that's when Marvel took over. Or like it was so much shit that he did that he's responsible for. Like I said, all the like the important storylines was there, like the Frank Miller Daredevil shit. All the X-Men shit, all this stuff like that.
Secret Wars.
That's what I was just about to say. He created the comic crossover.
Mm-hmm.
He did that. It started with Contest of Champion. That was actually the very first comic crossover. We can talk about Crisis, this Crisis, and that shit like that. That was Justice League. This is like, no, throw everybody in there. It's like that. So he started with Contest of Champions and came back and perfected the formula with Secret Wars. So, like I said, this $2 billion movie that Marvel is making right now is supposed to have all these superhero stuff like that. It's based on his original story. Like, of course, Hickman got his stuff in there also, but it's mainly going to be based off this, you know. So that's how much they owe to him. And of course, he also wrote Secret Wars 2. Eli, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like this story. I know that's wrong
I've
to say.
never read that one.
I've read it. It's not very good. But there is some very interesting stuff going on there. The people want to talk about who's the most powerful dude in Marvel. It's the Beyonder. And it's not even close. The dude is hilariously overpowered. He killed Death. I don't even know how you do that shit. He did it. So, what else we got here? Okay. X-Men. Now this is where we start getting to the controversy of Jim Shooter. Like I said, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows on the Jim Shooter, because the thing was, okay, so here's the important thing about Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter cared about nothing but continuity. That's something these editors of Marvel have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't even know if they have editors anymore with the shit they got on. But he cared about continuity. If something happened in this book, it affected this book. That writer better get on board with this writer, and it's like that. Oh, you right? You gonna have Hulk in your book this week? You can't. Hulk in space doing some other bullshit. Change it to Hercules and shit. Like, and so pissed off the writers, pissed off the artists. Like, he didn't give a fuck.
So it's all his fault.
It was all his fault. Matter of fact, the X-Men shit, like I said, with Jean Grey, this is what controversy shit like that. Okay, originally in the story, she was not supposed to die. They were just going to just depower her and put her in the science like that, and she was going to have a redemption arc later on like that. The problem is when Chris Claremont wrote it and John Byrne wrote it when she blew up that sun and killed that galaxy and shit like that, and Jim Shooter read the story, they're like, no, she got to die. There's no redemption arc for that. She got to die. So he made them kill her. So shit like that. And that's just Jean Grey. Now we can talk about Carol Danvers. What he did to Carol Danvers was just fucked up. Avengers 200 is one of the most fucked up Marvel stories of all time. Maybe one day we review it. Maybe one day I want to. I'm gonna tell you what happened in this story. Jim Shooter wrote it, and the controversy was so bad on it, he took his name off of it and blamed it on somebody else. What happened when he did? Carol Danvers got pregnant by Kang the Conqueror, or a variant of Kang the Conqueror, and gave birth to the variant of Kang the Conqueror, and fell in love with the variant of Kang the Conqueror, and they just left. So she like fell in love with her. Okay. It's a weird ass story, man. It's like she got kidnapped and it was basically like sexual assaulted. That's basically what the storyline was like that. But she like brainwashed and went off with it. The story was so fucked up, they had to write Carol Danvers out of Marvel because they were getting so much backlash. And that's why they created Rogue. They specifically created Rogue to get Carol Danvers off the table so people could quit talking about her. So also he indirectly created Rogue because of his fucked up shit. So yeah.
Wait. That's not her mom. Who's her mom? Mystique? Who's her mom?
Mystique, yeah. Mystique and Rogue fit almost like basically Mystique was a Miss Marvel villain at first.
Yeah.
A Carol Danvers villain. Yeah. And then Mystique, after that bullshit happened, Mystique was like, I got a daughter. Go get her. And then boom, that's what happened. So the very first issue that Rogue ever appeared in, she fucked up Carol Danvers, and that was it. So that's how it went. So it got to the point that he was rewriting writers' stories. Because he was like, oh, if y'all don't follow my shit, I'm rewriting your shit. He was like, Doc can pay if they didn't do their shit. Like, he basically ruled outfits. Like, basically, like, HR department didn't exist in Marvel when he was there. So, and you got some people that being honest. Some people writing shit like, yeah, Jim Shooter, I'll be honest with you. I hate his ass at Marvel. Like, I wanted to fight his ass at Marvel. Like, you got people saying they wanted to fist fight him when he was there and stuff like that. And the funny thing about it, that the writers actually had enough, they actually, like, had a coup and got this guy fired. They had to join forces to get this guy the fuck up out of there. So I know this is supposed to be rest in peace for him, but I gotta say this shit, man. It's a fucking story. But if they so they kicked him out of Marvel. It would make
a great movie.
It would make a great movie. Like somebody make a movie about Jim Shooter because they used to like. I remember them writing. They used to write like articles about him and paint pics about it. Like they used to make it like the motherfucker was evil incarnate. Like he was a supervillain. Like we used to draw him and shit.
It'll be like the Social Network, only the bullpen.
Right, like, but the bullpen. Yeah, they really do that shit. So, yeah. So they kicked him out of Marvel, and he was like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere else. And where he went, he bounced around some other places also, which actually had success there. But the main thing he went to was Valiant.
Okay.
Now, remember Eric, our buddy Eric.
Yeah. Shout out to
shout
Ogar.
out to Eric. Shout out to Ogar. Shout out to Get Valiant.
Yeah, shout out to Get Valiant. Yeah,
the ground Valiant Walker. Yeah, Eric, you should be licking Jim Shooter's feet, or you should have been when he was, because he helped start it. Because what is the number one thing they said about Valiant when they love Valiant? They love the continuity of Valiant. They love how everything goes into this, goes into this, goes into that. That's because of Jim Shooter. He laid the groundwork for that.
And you could supposedly start any Valiant book, no matter what number, come in whenever, and you will get every book was an entry point from what they claim.
But every book also mattered, so it was both.
Yeah.
So it was like the perfect comic character. That's
8 out of 5.
Right. So people don't know I know a lot of people don't know what the fuck Valiant is. Okay. Everybody remember Bloodshot? No, of course you don't.
Probably not.
You probably don't. But Bloodshot.
Everybody was watching Tiger King instead of Bloodshot.
Yeah, at the time it was COVID. That's what happened like that. So the point was, Bloodshot was supposed to kick off the Valiant universe, but because of COVID hit, exactly the same exact week it came out, nobody watched it. Oh. It was you either die or go see a Vin Diesel movie. Which one you want to do? So that's what your options right there. So they get a chance to do it. And be honest with you, Bloodshot wasn't a bad movie. It really wasn't. It was okay.
It was like Venom. Hey, if you like Venom, you'll like Bloodshot.
It was a little bit better than Venom. I mean, it was Venom. It was Venom because it was the same plot.
It just needed to be rated R, and that's my thing with Venom. Venom should have been rated R.
I agree. Yeah, but like I said, that's the reason the Valiant universe kind of fell flat on its ass. But the point was, Jim Shooter basically laid the groundwork for Valiant to make Valiant what it was in the 90s. Of course, I don't even know if Valiant's still around. Is it? I don't know.
It's supposed. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's still around. Okay, I think they restarted it or whatever, or they're doing books again. I guess.
I don't know, but that's the thing right there. So, like I said, Jim Shooter was a complicated man. He was not a saint. He was not an angel. And the thing is, these comic creators are coming out, like someone been like, "Oh, I love Jim Shooter," and someone's just like, "Man, fuck that motherfucker, man," because he screwed with their story. But the point was, under his rule, Marvel took off, DC took off, and Valiant took off under his rule.
Transformers.
Transformers in the 80s. Yes. G.I. Joe.
He came up. Well, when Hasbro came to, Marvel, they brought the idea to Jim Shooter. They're like, here, we're going to launch these toys. We love Marvel to do a comic book. You come up with the concept. So he came up with the basic concept of Autobots, Decepticons. They were from Cybertron fighting over. He came up with the basic plot, but then he gave the assignment of the character. He didn't create the characters. I think that was Bob Ziansky or whatever his name. You gotta get Gomer.
Wasn't Larry Hama?
No, Hama was on G.I. Joe. I'm talking about Transformers.
Transformers. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but no, he came up with the basic concept. I think who had the writing assignment first? It wasn't Ziansky. I can't remember. You got Gomer would know all this shit.
Gomer would know all this shit back to forth.
But point is, yes, Jim Shooter came up with like the basic concept of the Transformers, and then passed it along to another writer who came up with all the characters and personalities.
And the crazy thing is, the Transformers book in the 80s were in Marvel continuity.
Oh,
they were in the 616. Yeah, that's the crazy shit about it.
Yeah, but it launched the toy line, it launched the cartoon, and the rest is history. So he had a hand in the Transformers.
So like I said, important guy. Not everybody loved him, but he was an important guy. Like the Marvel universe wouldn't be the same without him. So so rest in peace to Jim Shooter. Respect the shooter.
Yeah, good journey, kind sir.
So, yeah. All right. So the next one, Eli, I don't know how much time we're gonna spend because I wish we could spend more time, but we spent too much time on Jim Shooter. But we do have to hit the high points. We got to say rest in peace to Michael Madsen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the dude has been in so many movies. Yeah. We can't name all the shit he was in. I guess his number one role, the best role he played in was Reservoir Dogs. Can you think of a better role?
Blonde, he was in Species.
Every 90s kid's favorite movie.
Yeah, he was the dad in Free Willy.
He was that. He was a Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yeah, he was a Kill Bill.
Tarantino. He was in a bunch of Tarantino movies.
He was Tarantino kind of reused the same. If he like you, he gonna keep putting you in movies. So
a bunch of movies. I always
did you hear that thing that Michael Madsen's character was the brother of John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction?
Oh yeah, Vic Vega
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Yeah, like they basically trying to make it like Tarantino was really doing like a cinematic universe.
Yeah,
like
that everything
doses.
was connected. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, even Kill Bill was like a story in Pulp Fiction, so yeah.
Yeah, the Hanzo sword and all that, and
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco. I mean, yeah, he was in a bunch of shit.
He was in so much shit, man. I wish I could have a list, but it was like he's been in Sin City.
Yeah,
he was in that. Yeah.
And
the thing is,
I always thought he would have been a great Punisher. That was just me.
In 90 Days, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I do want to talk about also because in all the Hollywood movies he played in, he also played in a famous YouTube video. I'm gonna show you this. Remember, we reviewed this. Damn, it's too black. The Batman
that
Lonely
fan
Day
film?
of Dying. That fan film?
Yeah.
He was Harvey Bullock.
Okay, I vaguely remember that. I remember the movie. I don't remember him being in it though.
Yeah, he was in a good bit. Yeah, him and Batman was going like back and forth, and he was great as Harvey Bullock. I mean, he had that energy about him. Yeah. Oh, and here's another thing that I didn't know. Apparently, Virginia Madsen is his sister, or was his sister.
Okay. They got the same last names.
Yeah, I thought about that doesn't make any sense. Then you thought about her last name is Madsen also. Like, oh damn, okay.
Yeah, he was in The Natural with Robert Redford.
Robert Redford, where he was like fucking Hercules with a baseball bat.
The magic baseball bat.
Yeah. He was in so many movies, man. Like, it's impossible to not watch a movie with Michael Madsen in it. So
The Getaway, and
he was in that. Yeah, it's so many movies, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So rest in peace to Michael Madsen.
Yeah, good journey to him.
Yeah, we're gonna move forward. I think I did this twice. Okay, now I'm throwing it to you, Eli, because I know you had. I don't really know what to add to this, but I'm
Who's this?
No, my fault. Before you go there, I want to say rest in peace to Julian McMahan. I actually messed it up. Yeah, right.
Oh,
he also passed.
Yeah.
Not the original Doctor Doom, but the Doctor Doom of the 2000s from the Jessica Alba Doctor Doom movies.
Yeah.
You can almost say he's the best Doctor Doom we've had so far.
I guess
that's a low bar, but it's true. I mean,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, was he playing Doctor Doom? Not really. He was playing like a charismatic Green Goblin more than anything else because it was just around that time in the 2000s, Yeah. But he was charismatic, He also played a bunch of other stuff. He played in Nip Tuck. I didn't watch Charm. I'm sorry, that was almost a little bit too much for me.
Yeah,
but
I never saw that.
People loved him in Charmed. He was in some other stuff also. But the thing was, the guy that popped up, he had that presence. So even in the Fantastic Four movie, like I said, I don't hate those movies. I actually they have a charm to them. And even he had a charm to him in those movies, even though you have to suspend belief, you really ain't Dr. Doom, but yeah, I can respect the performance. So yeah. So rest in peace to him. So yeah. All right, now I'm gonna throw it to you. Okay. No, not him.
Who are we talking about now?
Shit, I don't know. I don't think I got the thing. We're gonna click it and see.
I can't see. I can't. I need my glasses.
Damn it! I ain't got the thing. The guy. Mark Snow.
Oh, Mark Snow.
Yeah.
Yes. Rest in peace to Mark Snow. He was a music composer for TV and movies. I know him from the X-Files. He wrote the X-Files theme. Do 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 do. Yes.
Okay.
I was a huge X-Files fan.
That alone lets him be on the list.
Okay. Yeah. And he wrote music for Smallville back in the 90s.
Somebody Save Me? He didn't do Somebody Save Me, did he?
I don't know. I never really watched Smallville.
How'd you not watch Smallville? Okay. You did. Of course you did. Okay. I watched Smallville.
I don't know I know there was songs, like actual bands or artists doing the songs, but he wrote the musical score. So
okay.
But he did a lot of the stuff. I guess some of his credits are Starsky and Hutch.
He did theme song Starsky and Hutch?
I guess, and then Heart to Heart, and he worked on one of his more recent credits is the new Mutants movie that we had thoughts on.
Yeah, okay.
But just good journey.
But he made X-Files, so that's cool.
Yeah. So I just thought, we mentioned him, good journey to him, and I was a huge X-Files fan back in the day. So
Oh, here we go. Jake knows about it.
Yeah.
Jake, I thought you were Gen Z. How you know about X-Files? You know that's before your time.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So also, what we're going to talk about. I guess we can talk about that. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So Eli, what's the number one movie of the week?
Is it Jurassic Park?
I guess. I don't know. Probably. I didn't research this shit. I'm just here. Yeah. So Jurassic Park, because
Jurassic
ScarJo
World. Okay.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it says there.
I guess. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know. Here's the thing. Eli is the Jurassic Park fan here. I'm not. Can I say something controversial, Eli?
Sure, non-fan.
Okay. I thought the first movie was I mean, I know everybody else was crazy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was I mean, it wasn't bad. It was like,
I was so high
like
the first time I saw.
No, like when it took off and everybody with like t-shirts and seeing it full fight, I'm like,
so that wasn't your Star Wars? That wasn't the Star Wars of the 90s for you?
It was just like, it was cool. And I was crazy about dinosaurs. You know, every 80s kid was crazy about dinosaurs. And I saw the movie, I was like, it's all right, cool like that. And I thought we was good. Okay, we got one movie. We're good. We said all we need to say about these dinosaurs. Nope. Got a second one. Got a third one. Got a fourth one. Got a fifth one. I'm like, why you keep making these fucking movies? And they all the same movie.
Shared universe. Yeah, I know.
I was like, why? I didn't like the second one. Hated the third one. Don't remember any of them past that. Chris Pratt was in how many of them? 2? 3?
He's in some of them, yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. So it's just like why you keep making these movies? Now you got ScarJo in there. Why?
That's why they keep making Transformers movies and Fast and the Furious movies, because motherfuckers go see them.
But I feel like they do something at least kind of different in those movies. I feel like they
do really?
The same shit.
Do they really?
At least there's a different color robot in there, different color transform. Okay, you had a red one here, you got a green one here. This just dinosaurs eating people. They go to the park.
Oh yeah, like, that's the point.
I know, but it's just like they just open the park again. Like, oh, maybe they won't eat them this time. Of course they're gonna eat them. I know that's why you go, but I'm just like, okay, I don't know, man. I hate the one with Samuel Jackson. Okay, another reason I don't like that movie, because I went to get popcorn. There wasn't a black dude that died at the beginning of that movie.
In the beginning, someone gets attacked. Yeah, like someone gets attacked. Did he die?
He got popcorn, came back, he already died.
That was like right in the beginning when they're transferring to Velociraptors or whatever, and one guy gets attacked.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, y'all kill a black dude before I can even get popcorn?
I don't know if he died. I know he got attacked, but
I don't know.
You know, I guess he could say he died. It's PG-13, whatever. No, but I was so high. I was really stoned when I saw that movie. No, I actually loved the first Jurassic Park movie. I thought it was great. I actually liked the second one. I read the first 2. Well, there's only 2 books. I read the books, you know, and that's about it. You know, and then I'm with you. I never really got into. I thought that
I never got that franchise. I never did.
I thought that one reboot that came out like around when Age of Ultron came out. The first one with Chris Pratt. I thought that was okay. I saw it in the theaters. I thought I had a good. If you're into Godzilla, kaiju, it's giant monsters fucking shit up. So that's the appeal. So
I mean, honestly, Eli, I can't even remember what movie is what. It's just all a blur to me. I can't tell you what one is what.
But yeah, the next Jurassic Park, I fell asleep on. Yeah, the whole Chris Pratt trying to be the shark cowboy, trying to colonize the dinosaur. Like fuck that. I was like, fuck this shit. He was doing that. Yeah, I thought that was dumb. You know, eat this motherfucker. Yeah, that's my favorite genre of movies. That's my favorite genre. People getting eaten. That's my favorite genre of movie.
See, Eli, you're on the wrong side of history. You're the reason the movie keep making $1 billion. So yeah.
Shit. People don't get eaten. I'm like, fuck this shit. That's why Chris Pratt ain't gotten eaten yet. So I'm like, fuck these movies.
Oh man, you can't eat Chris Pratt. They paid him too much money. They gotta eat everybody else.
Damn, man, eat this motherfucker. Damn.
Oh man,
so gentrifying the dinosaurs and shit. Fuck that.
Right. Oh man. Maybe they ate him in the third one. I don't know. I fell asleep on this shit.
Anyway, I fell asleep on the one in the house where they're in the house. I don't know.
Which one's the house?
They're in a house. That's all I remember. Jake knows. What was the one in the house?
I don't know these movies. I've watched them. I watched them, but I don't know them. So if you just say shit, I don't know.
The very last one where the volcano went off and then they're in the house and I don't know. And
I don't remember any of this shit you're talking about. But I've seen the movie. That's the fucked up part. I've seen it, and then none of that shit stuck to me.
Yeah, I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and then I don't think I missed anything.
Chris Pratt still ain't got eaten yet.
He was still alive. Yeah, he was still alive.
He's still alive.
That's basically. Oh man, this guy motherfucker still alive. Fuck this.
All right, but anyway, let's talk about something we both would rather talk about.
Sure.
Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Because we are both too metal for Jurassic Park.
Yeah, let's talk about Black Sabbath.
I'm gonna let you go. Like I really have nothing, but I want to hear what you have to say about it. So,
okay, so Black Sabbath, the band that's considered to be the very first heavy metal band, they played their final show this weekend. Actually, yesterday. Ozzy Osbourne, legendary vocalist. He has Parkinson's disease. These guys got to be in their 80s, 70s, or 80s now. But Ozzy's got Parkinson's disease, so his health is in decline. Jurassic World diminished. Good job, Jake. Thanks a lot. So Ozzy's health, he ain't in the greatest of health. He's getting up there in age. They're all getting up there in age, and they decided to do one last show, a final show called the Back to the Beginning. Took place in Birmingham. It was an all-day event. They got like every metal band, Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, a who's who of metal acts to play the show. A bunch of other musicians got together to form super groups and did Ozzy and Black Sabbath covers throughout the day. If you didn't get to go to the show, they streamed it. You could have got a ticket and streamed it live on pay-per-view. I did not watch the stream, but I've been watching clips throughout the day. I first heard about it. I'm one of those guys, so and what band is playing a final, they're doing a final tour. They're doing a final show, and then 5 years later, they're back. They always say that shit. Even Slayer. Slayer broke up. Slayer played the show yesterday. So I'm always like, it's always a cash grab. It's always a crap. I'm more cynical, So I view this, another final Black Sabbath show. Sure, whatever, all cynical. And now it's a cash grab. But as I was watching some of the clips, I did get the feels as an old fart, an old school metalhead. I had to acknowledge the relevance of Black Sabbath, the relevance of Ozzy, and how much he inspired the musical genre that I love. Yes, I always say Jimi Hendrix invented the sound of metal, but Black Sabbath was the first metal band, and they basically wrote every riff ever, and influenced all the bands and all the genres of metal. You got classical heavy metal, you got thrash metal, you got power metal, you got war metal, doom metal, black metal, new metal, it goes on and on, doom metal, and it's just, it all traces back to Black Sabbath. So yeah, it was, I saw some of the clips, and yeah, it was fun. I was enjoying it. I was watching, all my, Slayer covered Black Sabbath, Metallica covered Black Sabbath, Alice in Chains and Anthrax doing Black Sabbath covers, so it was kind of cool, and yeah, Ozzy, and then Ozzy played. I gotta admit, the song "Mama, I'm Coming Home." Never liked it. It was one of them pop metal songs that was on the radio a lot, and I couldn't stand. But watching him play that. Watching him perform that shit, I gotta say, I got the feels. So yeah, big shout out to Ozzy and Black Sabbath. They're pretty much the reason why I'm into music, why I play music. A lot of people are, metal fans are into the music they like. They sort of, and metal is just this has always been sort of a music for outcasts and free thinkers, and so yeah, they created this sort of genre of music where all the rejects sort of gather together, and through the music, through metal music, we make sense of this fucked up world. We're able to cope with all the bullshit of the world.
Jake, metal will never die.
Yeah. What does he say? I can't even read
metal
that.
dead. Isn't metal dead?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All the old farts will give it up to Black Sabbath. The kids, So yeah, horns up to Black Sabbath. That's all I got to say. I just think we mentioned that.
That's how little I care about Jurassic Park. I would much rather you talk about Black Sabbath.
Well, yeah, Iron Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even I know that.
Yeah,
That was that when you did it at the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, that's my shit right there.
That song made it into the movie. Like,
yeah.
Tony Stark was wearing Black Sabbath shirts in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, their roots run deep, their influences run even longer. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I got. Shout out to Black Sabbath. Shout out to Ozzy.
Gotcha. All right. So, like I said, I guess now we can talk about what's on the thumbnail. We talk about everything but that. So, all right. So, hopefully, people have still stuck around and what we talk about. So now we're going to talk about Ironheart, episode 4 through 6. The season finale, or you want to say series finale. We're not really clear right now, but that's going on right now. Like I said, they showed the first 3 episodes last week, and they showed the last 3 episodes this week. And Eli, I know I let you go last week, let you run rampant, and let you get your shit off. And can I say something
right ahead?
Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't know if you were going to step on my toes. You want to have you wrote a thesis or a review or anything like that.
I did not.
Okay. All right. So what do I think about it? So like I said, there's been a lot of division about this show. And yes, you got the races, you got the sex like that. I get that. But there's actually people talking about the show.
Them. Yeah, we're not going to acknowledge
We're not worried about them. We're not worried about them. We know they exist. We know they're out there. We're not talking about them.
That comes with the territory for us.
That comes with the territory. Expect them. So we're not talking about them. We're talking about people that actually watch the show and actually have thoughts on the show. So, like I said, we've got a very wide, Eli, I've been on social media, I've been on Twitter, I've been on Facebook, Instagram, talking to people, seeing what they're thinking about it. And like I said, some people are saying this is the worst show Marvel has ever made. Some people are saying it's the best show that Marvel ever made.
Okay.
So you got that middle ground in between. And here's the thing.
That's a wide territory of middle ground.
That's a wide territory. But here's the thing, Eli. I agree with both of them.
Okay.
Both sides. That's the thing, like, because I get the show is made for thing, but there are certain things in this show. It all depends on your point of view of how you watch this show. Remember, I keep saying about Yoda and Empire Strikes Back and Dagobah, like what you take in is what you take out. It's that. So because I like this show and it frustrates me at the same time because there's one thing about this show that's frustrating me. Now, here's what the reason people don't like this show. It's not because, it is because she's black and the girls like that. But besides that, because of her actions and her attitude and her behaviors in the show, which I had a problem with in the first 3 episodes. I just didn't say it then because I want to see how this plays out. I want to see if she grows as a character. I want to see if she has a redemption arc. She doesn't. She doesn't get one. That's the whole point. So that's what I'm saying right here at the show. So if you come in this show expecting a superhero show, this show fails on every level. I think that's my opinion.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
However, like I said, it's all about point of view. But if you go in this show and look at it as a cautionary tale, as a tragedy, as a downfall, as a the last episode of Snowfall or some shit, now you're working with something.
Goodfellas or any Scorsese gangster movie,
any gangster movie like that. Now you're working with something. Now you have some meat on the bone you can talk about. So like, and the thing is, I don't think the show did that by accident. I think the show was very much designing it that this was supposed to be Riri Williams' downfall. Eli, have you heard the tragedy of Riri Williams? That's what this show is. So when you look at it from the angle, when you turn Riri Williams into Anakin Skywalker, now we can have a talking point.
Oh, damn. Show. Now I hate it even more.
Now you hate it even more. That's why I threw that in there on purpose.
That was intentional.
I triggered Eli.
I meant to piss Eli off, and I did it all too easy.
Did RDJ make an appearance? RDJ would cost the budget of the whole show. No, he doesn't make an appearance. He doesn't show up, and that's the thing. Like, people are upset because
they mention him a lot.
They don't mention him a whole lot. They mention like a few times.
Yeah, he does get mentioned. They do name drop. Yeah. Well, Tony Stark.
They name drop him and they shit on him, stuff like that. A lot of people took offense to that, But like I said, that's the character of Riri Williams because the thing is, that's the character we're dealing with. This is not a hero, Eli. She doesn't do anything heroic. She doesn't save anybody but herself. She doesn't do anything. And then a lot of times she's saving herself is shit she got herself into. And her whole point is going through this whole arc in the show is to get more power. Like the final battle between her and the Hood. Is she doing it to save herself? No. She's only fighting this guy to get more power. She wants his Hood. That's one reason he's there.
Yeah, it's
and you know what's even more fucked up about it? That's how I know that the show knows what it's doing. Because every villain and bad guy she fights, before they fight, they all tell her what a piece of shit she is before they fight. Like, you lie, you manipulate, you cheat, you murder, you kill. You just here for power. You could be stopping a train, or you could be saving a meteor, or go fighting Thanos or shit like that, saving the planet. No, you just doing selfish shit for yourself. You're not even building a suit to help people. You just doing this for fame and glory.
Yeah, well, for coping. So, I thought she was doing it for coping.
And that's another problem. She's not over her grief. That grief was her downfall. And like I said, so all that played into it, and that's what was it. I'm gonna spoil the ending right now for everybody that don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, so after she beats the Hood and stuff like that, the very ending, your boy shows up. Everybody's boy that we was expecting to show up. Your boy,
my boy,
Satan.
It's Satine. No.
Satin. Mephisto shows up. So Mephisto finally shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about it, Eli? I was on Twitter, stuff like that. People like that. Mephisto, I don't read comics. Who is he supposed to be? I'm like, what? No, look, he's the devil. Like, he's Satan. And I kept saying it repeatedly because I didn't want people to like misinterpret what the hell was going on. Oh, he's just some Marvel big bad guy. Maybe he'll be. It's like, no, she made a deal with the devil. She sold her soul to Satan.
She went down to the crossroads.
Yes, she went down to the crossroads. Roll credits. That's how the show ends. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, that's it? You know? So, that's what I'm saying. She starts off as a selfish, narcissistic character, and she gets worse as the show goes on to the point where she sells her soul to the devil. And, okay, you could say, well, maybe she'll get a story arc in season 2 or stuff like that. Or maybe
there ain't no season 2.
There ain't no season 2. There won't be a season 2. And see, that's the problem, Eli. See, we need to learn how to separate. We always look at Marvel different. We treat Marvel differently than we do every other media out there. We treat Marvel like some never-ending story. Like it's always going to be this and this and this and this, always like that. But sometimes the story ends. Sometimes the character arc is over. That's it. And you know when it ends? When it ain't selling. You know, like I want to see the end of Sleepwalker comics. Sleepwalker didn't sell, so they didn't give them an ending. So that's it. You know, same thing with Riri. So basically, the ending, how this show ended, here's the thing, Eli. Honestly, I really believe we will never see any of these characters again in anything.
There's a good chance.
We're talking about Avengers thing that's coming out. She wasn't announced for that. Mephisto would announce for that, so they're not going to be in that show. They're all Disney Plus. They're just a Disney Plus thing. We're just going to move on with that. And that's kind of what Disney's motto been right there. If it don't work, shove it to the side. You're not going to get Eternals 2. You're not going to get a Moon Knight season 2. None of that shit is happening.
We ain't going to see Echo again.
No, you're not going to get Echo season 2. Sorry. It's not going to happen.
I knew that.
And you're not going to get an Ironheart season 2. You want to know why? Because they finished Ironheart. They finished this show back in 2022 and sat on it. If they were going to do a season 2, they would have done it by now. We'd be on season 2 by now. No, and look at the way they framed it. Half the episode, half the season here, half the season there. They try to dump this shit as fast as possible. Yeah. So they purposely want people to forget this show ever was made.
And remember that RDJ's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
We're done being woke. We're getting
right. We got Fantastic Four coming in. Ain't no Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm. No, it's exactly how you expect it. So yeah. Like I said, it has so much shit going on in this show, man. Let me see. Because the thing is, what other things I want to talk about this show is that Riri. People keep saying, "Oh, she's the next black female Iron Man." That's why people hated the show, because they woke and shit like that. But look at her actions. Like, okay, she mixed magic with tech. Tony doesn't do that. What else did she makes a deal with the devil to bring back a loved one. Tony doesn't do that. The most important thing she wants in the world is to be recognized for her genius. Tony doesn't care. You know who that is? That's not the black female Iron Man. That's the black female Doctor
Doctor
Doom.
Doom. I was about to say.
Yes, that's who she
This
is.
feels like a Doctor Doom's.
This
thing.
is a Doctor Doom origin story. That's what this is.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's just like, so that's what I'm saying. If you look at it like a hero story, it's not that. It's a downfall of you can't even say hero because you didn't do anything heroic. Oh, so Marvel wasted a big baddie? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We knew that. Yes, Borat is Mephisto. That's the funniest thing. But he killed it. That's the great thing about it. He killed it. I love Borat is Mephisto in this. And you got, okay, let's talk about, can we talk about the races now? Okay.
Okay.
The races, yeah, because the races, think about, because, and honestly, I'm not going to talk about the races. I'm just talking about all white people.
Yeah,
let's
fuck.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So now we're racist.
Yeah, right. Here's the thing, Eli. I know you didn't know I was going to go there.
The views
Plot
of
twist.
Leroy
Yeah.
do not reflect the views of Eli.
Right, because it will come back to bite you in the ass. I'm about to say. So, here's the thing, Eli. I've watched, like, when we first reviewed this last week, I didn't watch any reviews. I didn't watch anybody else. I didn't want to get diluted with whatever I had to say. But then I finally watched YouTube, a bunch of reviews, see what's going on. Every single white reviewer I've seen, every single one, I don't care what the political views are like that, every single one hated this show. From beginning to end, hated the show. And the only thing that made them keep watching was Mephisto. They're like, that's the only 6 minutes worth watching this entire show. They couldn't remember anybody's name. They couldn't remember what the fuck was going on. They was like, they fell asleep on it. But until Mephisto come in, and then they're like, well, I just watched it on TikTok, some shit like that. So they hate it. That's it. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying every white reviewer, but there was some Jive Turkey black reviewers also saying the same shit. We're not gonna talk about them. So I think that saved you on that, Eli. So yeah. We got to spread it around. So,
Well, I saw a couple of white folks on TikTok who didn't hate it.
Did you? Okay, I haven't seen none. I've seen none. So I'm glad you brought that out there because I went looking for, I went searching for them. I couldn't find any. So yeah, but that's what's going on with this show. Oh, like I said, I like that it halved it up. You know, you got magic getting thrown in and stuff like that. I think a lot of people didn't know what was going on. Keep in mind, she was still stealing magic from Dormammu to power up her super. A lot of people kind of missed that thing on there. So that's what you got to see. She don't have an arc reactor. She's getting, like, she's basically stealing demon hell powers. So yeah, like it's not.
Does she do that in the comics? I'm not a
no.
I don't recall her ever doing that. So
the closest she ever got to it was the Mandarin rings, the Mandarin 10 rings.
Okay.
Which Tony told her not to use it, and then it kind of fucked her head up, and then she kind of left him alone. But that's close. She got the magic in there, so she really not a magic person per se, you know. But yeah, so that's going on with that one. All right. But other things I did like in it, like I said, I did talk about Zelma Stanton was going to be in it. She was in it. She was one of the breakout stars in it. You want to know how you could tell a racist YouTuber, Eli, when they don't mention Zelma? When they just said nothing, because she was a breakout star in this show. She's a breakout character. So yeah. Now I said it wrong that she was in the Donny Cates run. She was actually in the, what's the dude's name? The guy. Not Donny Cates, the guy that Jason Aaron. That's what.
Oh, okay.
I was drawing a blank. Jason Aaron wrote that Doctor Strange run.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then she also popped up in the Strange Academy. You know, Strange Academy comic that weird. That was a weird ass book, man. I tried. I couldn't, but that
was just Harry Potter and Marvel.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, the actress that plays Zelma, she was saying, like, because I think they were working on a Strange Academy show. Like, Wong was going to be like the main character. She was going to be in a show like that. But they were like, the reason they didn't do it because they didn't feel comfortable about Ironheart. So they just can't, like, all this shit they had planned, they canceled all this shit. But she wanted to get off the ground. She was like, well, because technically Harry Potter, like the person that created Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling's, whatever, technically is canceled. Even though she's not canceled, she's still, you know, getting money off the Harry Potter book. She still pops up everywhere like that. Still executive producer, shit like that. So it's like, did we really cancel her? Harry Potter's still everywhere. They rebooting Harry Potter on HBO Max.
Yeah, they're making another show of that shit.
Yeah. So it's like we cancel people until they don't make us money. As long as they're making us money, we kind of press aside. So yeah, it's weird what they're doing with her.
That's how it goes. You know,
that's how it goes. So, yeah. Like, just let you know what you're doing. Matthew Penny. Thank you for verifying the power. I was watching it while walking, so missed that somewhere. Yeah, so that's how she got power. She didn't have an arc reactor. She uses magic to power that up. So yeah. Thanks for listening. Trying to think what else. Oh, another thing about that. Let's talk about, like I said, we talked about Mephisto. We talked about Zelma. Let me see who else we got. Can we talk about? No, not her. Not him. Natalie. Okay, talk about Natalie. Can I talk about my fan theory?
Sure.
Okay, here's my fan theory. I think Mephisto created Natalie.
Okay.
That's what I think. Yeah. Reason I'm saying that because, okay, so Riri made Natalie on a laptop in her mom's apartment, the most advanced AI the MCU has ever seen. Even more advanced than Ultron, who Tony used Infinity Stone to create. But she did it on a laptop in her mom's apartment and has no idea how she made it. Just call it a glitch the whole time. How is she making an AI that sophisticated, that powerful? Had to be magic involved, I think. And if you don't want to say magic involved, think about this. We know Mephisto knows how to influence people. So what if when she went to sleep, Mephisto influenced her mind and made her think about nothing but Natalie the whole time while she was uploading her brain to the AI? I think what happened, like he hijacked her brain and made Natalie pop up. And the reason he did that, because he had his clutches in Riri from the beginning. He wanted to give her Natalie, get attached to Natalie, so when he take away Natalie, she will do anything to get Natalie back. Sell your soul? Okay, give it to me. It's like the drug dealer. You give him a little taste. Give him a little taste and take it away from him. So that's my thing. I think that would. The show didn't say that. The show didn't go there, but I think that's definitely what happened. So yeah. That's all I got. Overall, like I said, I like the show. It's honestly, out of all the Disney Plus shows, I think it's one of the better Disney Plus shows, except for the ending. The ending is just fucked me up because it didn't end, even though it ended. So that's the thing. And they basically turned Riri Williams into a supervillain. Now, and the thing is, them doing that, I actually applaud them for that, having a downfall of a character story, because that's kind of gutsy. I mean, that's kind of gutsy for a Disney Plus show. I think that's the biggest swing they've made for a Disney, a Marvel project since Infinity War, to basically tell a villain origin story that you think is a hero. So once people understand that, and I think they'll figure out what the show is really trying to go, because everybody's always calling Riri out on what she's doing.
Slap rating.
The whole
Slappy
thing.
Leroy.
Honestly, I'm gonna still give it a 4. I'm gonna still give it a 4. I wish it could be higher than that, but like I said, because I hate the ending and like the ending at the same time equally because of what they did. Because I wanted a hero story where she overcomes everything like that, but her just being selfish and narcissistic and doing everything she can underhanded to get what she want, and all the way till she sells her soul to the devil just because she can't give her grief. I hate that ending, and at the same time, like the ballsiness of the ending. So that's why I'm gonna just say a 4 and leave it alone. Leave it at that. So yeah. So people are gonna argue on the show. People are gonna argue about this, argue about that, or maybe they forget. Maybe we echo. Maybe they forget about it. So that's what Marvel wants. So yeah. So that's all I got. Eli, okay, I talked enough. Can you give me anything you want to feel, or you can slap a rating on it?
No, I didn't. I wasn't really feeling this last half. And I think it was because, well, first of all, yes, I do agree with it about the end. It felt like the show was incomplete. Like, that's it. That's all you're going to give us, And I like, it felt like what I don't like about what Marvel's been doing is all the setup. It's always a setup. It's always a setup. And you're saying, yeah, we might not see these characters again. Maybe she'll pop up in Secret Wars or something, or Doomsday.
I don't think she will.
Yeah.
I don't think she will.
So it's like,
I think this is it.
Yeah, and that's like, I felt like there's no closure. Like, even like with Echo, I knew Echo was going to be it. Like, we're not going to see these characters again. But I still feel like there was an actual solid ending to that show. Like, there was some closure, where this just felt like open ending and kind of a cliffhanger. Like, I don't even know, did she really make the deal? They never really confirmed it. Sure, that
you're right. We don't know.
So
everybody's assuming she did. We don't know.
Yeah, that's all up in the air. So that's that. Yeah, I had an issue with the ending and how it just felt like unfinished. But I really, once it went towards the magic thing, I kind of checked out. I was not into the whole magic story arc. And that's the thing, is I was really into the first 3 episodes because I did like her character arc, and I was really getting into the whole, how she made the AI, her, and it was like you know, her AI was a projection of her dead friend, you know, and that was
like
what
forcing her to face her grief.
Yes, that was interesting to me. Here's this genius, this logical, linear way of thinking, and now she's dealing with emotions, abstract emotions she doesn't know how to deal with, and her AI is like her coping mechanism, and it's like that's like a version of that. So that's what interested me. That's what I was responding to. So once it became all this magic stuff, it sort of got. I think in episode 5, they kind of sort of glossed over it when everybody got together and built the suit in that one scene. And you know, it was okay. Now we're kind of dealing with her grief and what her emotions and all that. But it just felt like kind of a cop out where let's get everybody here. Okay, sorry everybody, and she apologized. We're everybody here. I'm apologize to everybody and get through the scene so we can get to the. It just felt like a stepping stone, like a cheap writing stepping stone. I was like, that's really because we haven't really dealt with the AI becoming sentient. Even in Ultron, they kind of smoothed it over.
Here's the funny thing about it, Eli, because like I said, this show was made back in 2022. That means it's already outdated. I think if they would have made this now, like Vision is coming out with a show.
Yeah,
you already know they're gonna deal heavily with AI.
And that's the thing on WandaVision. They dealt with Wanda's grief, but they never dealt with Vision as a character and how he's like Data. Like, you know, I'm not into Star Trek, but I find Data of interesting character because he's not human, but he's trying to understand humanity, you know, and human emotions and all that. And so that's what I was responding to. So I wanted more Blade Runner and I got Harry Potter. And I was like, you know, so
because one of my favorite scenes in this whole show is when, you know, the love interest saw his dead sister brought back his AI, and you was looking at, he was like, this is horrifying. And that's everybody's reaction will be like, what are you doing? You can't play God like this, raise the dead. Like, this is a mockery of her memory.
Yeah, and that's some Ghost in the Shell shit. That's some, again, back to, I can't remember what, I vaguely remember a Star Trek episode where he created an AI and then fell in love with it. But then this isn't the real person. This is your idea of that person. And that's,
but see, that's what happened to her also, even though they kind of glossed over, but she got so attached to the AI. That's why she can do that. And Mephisto used that against her.
Like, this is her idea of her friend. It's not her real friend. And I feel like there's a lot to explore there. And that's what I was hoping for. And we didn't get that. Instead, we got like episode 6 was all about the Hood. And I did not give a shit. I did not. I was like, yeah, you're right. The Hood's not a great character. Like, even in the comics, like when he went to the mansion, oh, is this his dad's house? Yep. You know,
this is that, of course. Right.
Yeah. It was totally predictable. I was more responding to the Zeke villain, like Zeke as a villain felt more natural, you know, like,
and the thing, he really wasn't even a villain,
and he barely did anything, you know?
Right.
So they had like this connection that felt like a natural sort of progression of plot and character that they did nothing with. And then I felt Mephisto was shoehorned into this. Like, why is Mephisto in this show? Like,
well, I mean, I think I remember hearing like when they first made this show, Mephisto was not part of it, and I think they made him put Mephisto in.
And that's what keeps happening. Like, why is the leader in a Captain America movie? You know, why is like Kang in Loki and Ant-Man movies and shit? Like we gonna have Blade fight Jeff the Shark? Like, what the fuck is Ghost Rider gonna do? Like, who's he? Was that Paste Pot Pete? You know, who the fuck is it? Like,
hey, I watched
it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why is Mephisto in this show? You know, a show about robots and tech, and now you're bringing devil and magic shit into there.
Right. Wasn't in WandaVision, wasn't in Agatha all along.
Yeah, no shit. Like, where it should have been Werewolf by Night and all that, you know, all.
Well, see, and that's the problem everybody was messed up with, because they said when WandaVision, I don't know how true this is, they said when the showrunner was asked about Mephisto, she said, who? Like, how you not fucking know Mephisto? Like, the whole point of the story in the comic was that Wanda got those kids from Mephisto.
Yeah.
Like, she sold her soul to get those kids. And then when the kid disappeared, because, you know, Mephisto always screwed people over, that's when she went crazy. That's when she started killing people. And that's when she wiped the mutants off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
That, like, all that shit was tied in. But the showrunner all of a sudden doesn't know who Mephisto is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And now they trying to retroactively do all this shit. So yeah. Now keep in mind, Eli, this show was supposed to come back in 2022. So we was always getting Mephisto way back then.
That's right. Where everything we thought everything like the memes, the Mephisto memes.
Yeah, they were supposed to do this shit. And that's the thing. Like putting this show out now, kind of feel even though it's 3 years past, it feels like it's already outdated. Like already.
Yeah, because
like
the Blade movie. We're supposed to have a Blade movie. We're supposed to have Midnight Suns and like where Mephisto should be. You know,
right?
Again, they're setting up. They're setting the whole setting up stuff with like just tell a complete story. You know,
but that's honestly that's the number one. Eli, you just put the nail on the head. What's going on? What's going on with Marvel right now? They set up shit they don't follow through.
Yeah,
like phase 1, 2, 3. When they set up shit, for the most part, they will follow through. If you saw the character, you will see this character again.
Yeah.
There were so many characters that just pop up now after Endgame that will like Black Knight, the dude from Jon Snow. Remember he's in the Marvel universe?
No. Oh, yeah. Is he in the Eternals or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Never saw him again. That's what I'm saying. Like they set that shit up and then it just disappeared. That's it. Like they and it's so many stories like that. She-Hulk, you'll never see She-Hulk again. So, and that's the problem. They're not following through with this stuff. Yeah, they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, so that was why I say like it felt less an Ironheart story and more again. It like you said, it felt like something you'd see with Doctor Doom. Mm-hmm. You know, this totally felt like something like why didn't you just make a Doctor Doom show then? You know,
right?
Unless here's my fan theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Doctor Doom origin story, and then we're going to have Megan Thee Stallion as Doctor Doom. Riri's going to grow up.
Riri's going to grow up, be Megan Thee Stallion.
And then I'm totally there.
But you also got to remember, like I said, this show's back in 2022. When they made this show, Kang the Conqueror was still the big bad.
Yeah.
Rob Downey Jr., Doctor Doom, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, Strange Academy, Blade, mm-hmm. Midnight Suns, that was all on the slate when E3
like
or whatever.
The landscape
E3
of Marvel,
or whatever.
Yeah, the landscape of Marvel in 2022 is not even the same 3 years later. It looks completely different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's going on right now.
Yeah,
so,
we're supposed to get the Kang Dynasty and
the Kang Dynasty movie should have already came out.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come out like in May this year. So
yeah. So once the whole magic stuff started happening, I just kind of checked out and I was like I said, I was interested in seeing because I was really into the first 3 episodes. And mm-hmm. And then it kind of ditched everything that I wanted to see, and then we took into this whole new direction with magic and I guess that fight was cool outside the White Castle and shit, had its moments, but I just wasn't as engaged as I was, So yeah, that was my take. And the way it ended, I was just like, yeah, really? That's it?
Because like I said, they setting up for shit that's not even a thing anymore.
Yeah.
That's and it hurts the show overall. But like I said, Eli, it hurts the show and gives the show identity also that now it's a downfall of a character. I guess, yeah. And for me, that's interesting. If you look at it from that angle.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So
slap the rating. I'll give it.
You want a rating? Yeah.
Well, the first 3 episodes gets like a 4.5. These last 3 don't. I'll give them like a 3.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I just like I said, I didn't respond, and that's the thing is like it kind of got spoiled because I watched that first episode when it dropped Tuesday night or whatever it was. I watched that episode 4 or whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm not into this. And so I'm not going to watch the rest. And I waited. And of course, the next day, Mephisto, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, Borat as Mephisto. I'm like, oh, really? Why? And I'm like, why?
Right. But like I said, I heard about Borat being Mephisto 3 years ago when the show came out. They'd already leaked that shit.
I remember them saying, talking about the fan casting, and he would be great and all that shit.
Yeah.
Why he wasn't painted red, I don't know.
I didn't want him painted red, man. Nah,
Come on, man. That's MCU,
no, man.
comic
I
accurate.
didn't
That's
want
their
to see.
that's their pride. That's their thing. Their shtick. It's comic accurate characters.
You say that, then we get female Mr. Silver Surfer. But anyway, let's keep going. Now we're gonna
Hey, man, Solid Ball was the Silver Surfer, man.
You don't read comics.
Read a comic book, man. That's canon, man. She's been a character since the 60s.
Oh, these dumbasses. Okay. Can we move on to next? Can we move on to next part? I don't even know where we're
Sure.
going to go. Let's just move on past that. Okay. All right. So, like I said, not too much love we had going on.
But
I do want to
okay,
let you know this.
overall, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like I enjoyed the first arc. The second arc, it kind of fell off. But
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
But
okay.
but you're right. I thought Riri was an interesting character. The fact, I mean, she wasn't Tony Stark, and she was Tony Stark without the billion money, without the money.
Right.
So she had to do what she had to do, and I found that interesting. I found that she had to struggle and do what she had to do, even if it meant committing crime, to build her suit. I was interested in how she was struggling with grief. This like, again, she's this logical thinker struggling with abstract emotions. I was responding to that, So I found her character interesting. It's just what happened to her character in the plot. I was not a fan of.
Like I said, but she never overcame her grief.
And
she never looked outside herself. She never did anything for anybody but herself.
Well, they kind of glossed it. Oh, I'm sorry. They glossed in that one scene. I think it was episode 5 where they build her suit, and the little kid comes in, and they get the parts from the car, and they start building her suit, and that was like, okay, that was the therapy scene where she gets over her trauma and let's move on and blah 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 blah. And it felt kind of cheap and rushed, but yeah, and that's why I was disappointed, because I felt there's more to explore. That's like that idea of her dealing with her trauma through an AI character. That's like a season. That's like a show. You could carry that.
If the show came out in 2025, that's the main problem.
Yeah, you could carry that throughout several seasons. And remember, I said that scene when her mom was talking to the AI, like Natalie in the like episode 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and how funny was that? Like, that's what I wanted more of. Yeah,
and it was heartbreaking. Also, like, you made her. Can you bring back Gary? Can you bring back my husband?
Yeah.
That was sad when she did that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, no, this is just a projection of my emotions. That's what they're not exploring. What I felt they could have done. Like I said, this is Blade Runner shit, Ghost in the Shell shit, some animes that deal with this shit that I can't name right now. But like, wasn't that what's going on in like Pacific Rim,
Right.
They had to do that mental projection, and the guy had the trauma and shit, and was fucking up the connection and shit. Yeah, like, this is interesting stuff. We could explore this because she's a technical genius. But no, magic and the devil, sure.
So basically, you liked it when it was Iron Man, but you didn't like it when it became Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, when it became a half-assed Ghost Rider story. But hey, if Robbie Reyes showed up, I would have been like, oh my god. Then it would have been
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
8 out of 5.
From Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Come
on. Hell yeah. I would have.
Oh, shit. You telling me if they would have connected this to Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you would have. Okay, we would have been geeking out on shit. We would have took
the only season I liked.
We would have been talking a whole episode just about that. So, oh, man. All right, you move on to the next part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, before we get to the comic books, I do want to let you know that I did do an interview with the creators. Damn, I don't have the book in front of me. It don't matter. I got a thing. Let me do the thing. Okay. So I did I talked to the creators of Black Wall Street, Time for a Change. I did an interview with them last night. I haven't posted yet. We just recorded. I'm going to do some editing to it, then repost it, but just showing you like a little clip of it right there. So I'm going to post it here on the page. I'm also going to give them a clip also so you can check it on their webpage also. We went in depth to it, where they got the idea from it, how much research did they do on it, whether I can do follow-ups. Like I said, they talked about Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street is not the only town that got destroyed like that. Are they going to do something with Lake Lanier? Listen to the interview. We'll find out. I'll let you know when we post the shit. So, yeah, that's all. That was saying move on next part podcast. I got no video games shit. I probably got some video games shit. I ain't thinking of them, but
did I freeze up?
I mean,
Uh-oh.
you did. Yeah.
Are you there?
Okay. He'll get fixed. Anyway.
Oh, damn.
He'll come back.
Oh, there. Okay, you're there.
I never went anywhere.
Oh,
I was here the whole time.
I did. Sorry. There's
No
a glitch.
But you're my glitch. Anyway, like I said, the comic bullets, where we talk about comic books, we're going to jump into it. Eli, I'm going to let you go first because I barely remember the books I read.
Okay.
Yeah, this is that fifth week where it gets weird,
Yeah. Let's see. What do I got? Should I do Daredevil? No, I'm going to do my biggie. Get my big
what's your biggie? What's your notorious B.I.G.?
Godzilla versus Thor.
Okay, let's get to it.
So yeah, Jason Aaron.
My boy. Okay.
Writing Godzilla versus Thor. So what we have is the Hand, the Ninja Clan.
The ninjas? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
the Hand and the High Priestess resurrecting Godzilla. They found Godzilla's heart and they resurrect him. They end up getting all the worst serial killers and mass murderers on Earth, break him out of prison, bring him to their temple, and then they got Godzilla's heart in like a pit. And then they kill all the serial killers, and all their blood goes and drips down through the grates onto Godzilla's heart, resurrecting Godzilla with all the twisted, evil nature of fucking serial killers. And Godzilla is reborn, and he starts tearing up the fucking world. So they got to get Thor. Thor rolls up on the set. He's like, "Oh, a dragon. I fought many of you before. Slayed many dragons." And then he's like, "Oh, but this dragon's hard to fight." So this becomes one of the most epic battles of all time.
Wait. So Thor holds up against Godzilla.
Yes.
Damn. Mm-hmm. And even though Godzilla beat the shit out of Superman.
They're beating the shit out of each other. Yeah. Basically, Thor is hitting him with every, lightning, all the, thunder, and it ends up in space. At one point, he ends up opening a portal to the Jotunheim, the Frost Giants world.
Oh, right, the Frost Giants, yeah.
And freezes Godzilla. Solid. But then the Hand shows up with a sliver of the God Butcher's sword, Gore.
The Necro sword, okay,
yep.
Yeah.
And infuses that into Godzilla, and Godzilla goes on a ranch. So now you got Godzilla the God Butcher.
God Butcherzilla, yeah.
Yeah, and he goes through the universe, tears up, destroys Asgard, destroys
Godzilla the God Butcher. What the hell? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, destroys Asgard, starts fucking up the universe. Thor and Godzilla go through the universe, battling, destroying galaxies. Thor is throwing like galaxy-sized hurricanes at Godzilla. It's just the craziest fucking fight, And eventually they end up destroying each other. Like Godzilla destroys Mjolnir, and fucking Thor rips out Godzilla's heart again. And then like the final shot is just like Mjolnir in pieces and Godzilla's heart floating in space. But they go to Hell, and where they will continue
like Hell with one L.
Yep, Hell, where they will continue to battle for eternity at every dawn. So
was Hella there?
No, it's just Godzilla and Thor on the shores of Hell fighting for eternity. Every morning at dawn, they fight again.
Okay.
So this was crazy. This is great. This is probably one of the best one out of all. I mean, the Hulk one was pretty cool. But yeah, and the Fantastic Four one, they've been fun. These Godzilla Marvel books. This is one of the better ones. Maybe my favorite. But it is one of the better Godzilla crossovers so far.
All right, let me ask you this: did they make a reference to the Midgard serpent?
Yeah. I
figured they did. Okay,
because he's referencing all the monsters that he's fought. Godzilla brought about Ragnarok. What's that fucking that name? Because the metal band Amon Amarth has a song about it.
You mean the name of the Midgard serpent, like the
yeah?
The name? I'm not pronouncing that. I know what it is, but I'm not pronouncing that.
What the hell?
Yurgamager or some shit.
Yeah. That's it, right? Yorgamunder or something.
I completely butchered it, but
Yeah.
Close enough.
I know it from an Amon Amarth song.
Yeah. We'll know it when Marvel makes a movie about it. We'll learn it then.
Yeah, then they'll say it. Yeah, they'll say it for real.
They know they'll probably fuck it up too, but it doesn't matter. That's how you're supposed to say it. Like Yggdrasil. I don't think you're supposed to say Yggdrasil that way.
Yeah, I thought it was Yggdrasil or something.
Right, but they just like this how we say it, this how y'all gonna say it. So yeah.
I can't find it. But yeah, like a J-U Yorgum.
Yeah, it's
Yorgamunder or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a death metal band called the Monomarth. All they sing about is Norse mythology.
Yeah.
You know,
basically in Norse mythology, the Midgard serpent is the thing that kills Thor.
Twilight of the Thunder.
They kill each other.
They have a song called Twilight of the Thunder Gods, and the chorus goes, Thor, Odin's son, protector of mankind. Great song. They have another song called Guardians of Asgard. So yeah. But yeah, this is great. I'll give this a 5 out of 5. This is dope.
I mean, Jason Aaron wrote one of my favorite Thor runs. And Doctor Strange runs.
Yeah, and he, like I said, he references the god. He references Gore, the God Butcher, and he references the Punisher. He's got that when the Punisher joined the hand.
Yeah, that cult, that ninja cult.
Yeah, that skull that he had. When Frank Castle was in the hand and shit. And
yeah. Well, Gore the God Butcher's sword. That's no shit.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Like that's no shit. Yeah. So I think that was either his sword or part of him,
or Donny Cates made it his sword, because that's what Donny Cates basically came in and then rewrote.
And see, that's why I keep confusing Jason Aaron and Donny Cates, because they shit overlap so much. Like he made God Butcher, but then Donny Cates would take God Butcher's sword and then give it to Noel, and then Noel would just terrorize everybody.
Yeah, because Noel was basically before everybody.
Right. So he basically almost like he turned Godzilla into Noel.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
He may have mentioned Null too.
Yeah.
It's a cool, if you get a chance, read it. It's fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Especially if
you sold me on it.
If you're into the Thor, like a Jason Aaron's Thor run, because he references all that shit.
Like I said, his Thor run is one of my favorite Thor runs of all time.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And then you can tell he's into Godzilla too. So.
But I don't like how Thor was able to compete with Godzilla. He beat the shit out of Superman so easily. So that kind of gives
that's
Thor.
Because Godzilla can drain power and shit.
Radiation.
Yeah, all that shit.
But now that kind of puts Thor over Superman. That's all I'm saying. So in death battles. That's all I'm saying. So, so people can use that as proof now. So that's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. It fucked up your fucking fantasy league.
Yeah, my parlay or whatever you call it. All right. So next thing I got. Okay. So we're going to do the X-Men. I'm sorry, the Hellfire Vigil. Okay. So like I said, they do the Hellfire Gala every year, but they can't do the Hellfire Gala anymore because Krakoa is not a thing anymore. So what they're doing now this year is basically remembering Krakoa. They're throwing a vigil for Krakoa, to remember Krakoa in all its splendor and glory and shit like that. So let's throw a thing on there. Let's go here. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. This book long as fuck, but I'm gonna just hit the high points on it. Okay. So the book starts off with Miss Marvel going to Kamala Khan going to New York and this big page right here. Oh, and I'm gonna show you the page, but you're also gonna see a whole bunch of picket signs in the background. I can't zoom into it, but the whole point you see it basically saying like "Mutie, go home. We don't want mutants." All that shit. They're saying it right there, but you can't really see it right there. They hate them. Yeah, I don't know why they hate them. You think they'd be cool, but I don't know. Whatever.
It's racism. It never goes away.
Yeah. Point is, Miles Morales shows up, and he said some fucked up shit. He was like, "Kamala Khan, she's like, Miles, why are you here?" He was like, "Well, y'all in New York, I don't see what's going on. Let me hang with you the whole night, Kamala, because I'll be honest with you, I don't really know any mutants, and these folks are kind of weird. So I like, why you had to do Miles like that, man? Like he's racist or some shit, Oh, what else we got? Psylocke and let's pause for Psylocke.
Oh, damn. Where's Grey Crow? Grey Crow there?
Grey Crow not there. She just he better get her, but yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. What is it? Jean Grey doing some Jean Grey shit? Don't care. She's like a cosmic god or some shit like that. Oh, and Dazzler is throwing a concert in Chicago. Yeah, she's throwing the best concert of all, and like all the mutants are there, and they just in one. It's basically like Black Sabbath. Okay. Like that's the
Her
thing is,
final tour.
yeah, well, see, that's the thing because obviously she did some fucked up shit. So the police are coming to get her, and like the other X-Men on the outside stopping the police from coming to get her, trying to arrest her because they want to complete the concert. So Dazzler does like one final thing. Oh, this was pretty cool. This had his love scene right here. Anyway, moving on past that. Dazzler sings some more. Iceman does some shit. Don't care. Emma Frost gives a speech. And the police finally come on stage and arrest her,
The police, the band? No.
Not the band. But yeah, so they finally were able to break through it, and Domino was like using her luck power to keep the police from waiting for everything. But they finally get it. Domino's like, y'all don't do anything. Y'all just keep fighting the good fight. And then they just take a winch like that. Now, this is why I bought this book for this page, for Storm's arc here. So Storm is flying over the earth, and she's crying. And she's saying, I'm going to be a mother. Like, what? So she's in, I guess, CVS or whatever you want to call it, buying a pregnancy test. And the woman just said, next up, who wants the pregnancy test? And she's like, why you got to be so loud about it, man? Why don't you just be quiet about it? She's like, that's what I do. I embarrass people to come in here. She's like, the next guy need a cream for his testicle fungus. And she was like, don't do that shit. Now, I've met conquerors that have better tact than you. So,
Vagisil with the
right. Ass cream. Who wants the ass cream?
Vagisil. Too much cheese on the taco.
So we see the pregnancy test.
Oh yeah,
it's negative.
Oh,
not pregnant. Yeah. So and Storm was upset. She's like, "Damn, I thought I was gonna have a baby." So she's upset now. She's kind of depressed because she thought she was about to have a baby.
So who's she banging right now? She's still banging T'Challa?
Wolverine? I don't know. Somebody.
Forge?
I don't know. Look, man, she's everywhere. We're not gonna get into it. We've had that conversation, Eli. We got in trouble for that conversation, so we're not gonna go there. But the point is, Eternity shows up. Eternity's just like, look, Storm, I'm not doing this because I care anything about your emotions. I really don't care. But I need your mind in the game for the big battle against Oblivion. I need your mind right. So what I'm going to do is give you a brief glimpse. I'm going to give you my powers to give you a brief glimpse into the future of what's to come. And what you see, a little girl. And she's like my mama told me to show you this. And what she shows you is a calendar that says June, and the time is 6/16. So what she's trying to drive through your head, this is the 616, not an alternate reality, not no other bullshit like that. She like, my mama told me to show you this, so just in case y'all have any question about what's going on right now. But don't worry, you wonder why I don't have white hair? Because I got hair like my daddy. And I got his powers too. And I got his fangs. I'm like, wait, what? Is Blade the baby daddy?
Oh, I was gonna say, is she fucking Nightcrawler?
Oh no! Get it out of my head. Get it out of my brain. No. But that's what's going on right now. And then Storm cries because she sees her daughter. I think her name is Fuhara or something like that. Something like that. But anyway, Storm is crying because she basically got a glimpse of her future daughter. So then, that's all. So overall, just a nah.
So this was the Hellfire Gala book?
Yeah, well, Hellfire Vigil. They don't do the Gala anymore.
Okay.
Because everybody got killed last time because the Orcus came through and fucked up everybody up. So this is remembering them. So overall, this book was a mess. The last galas that were before then, they were pretty good. Like something happened. This don't shit really happen like a Dazzler concert. Now she does have some fire ass lyrics, which I was going to read out, but I didn't feel like doing that shit. But yeah, that Dazzler concert seemed like it was fire. So yeah. Overall 3 out of 5. Even the Storm thing, like if they would have like actually planned like Storm is pregnant, I would have been like, oh shit. And then we would have had like this parade of who's the baby daddy, and everybody's just like a line of X-Men just showing up and shit.
It'd be like a Jerry Springer show.
Yeah, like Falcon shows up and shit like that. What the fuck you doing here?
They go through, you are not the father.
Right. Oh shit. So yeah, that's all I got. So what you got next?
I got Daredevil number 23.
Okay.
Is this my book of the week? This is pretty dope.
It was pretty dope. Okay.
And maybe because I'm kind of like I've been kind of losing it on this run. You know,
Okay.
it's kind
I
of
know
losing
sometimes
me.
you up, sometimes you down on it. Yeah.
But I gotta say, this issue I was into basically because it's just a straight up action issue. You know, it's just a issue where Daredevil's going around kicking ass. You know, it's got nothing to do with the shit that's been going on, with the whole Seven Deadly Sins shit, and then the mushroom people that he fought, any of that. But he's seeing some chick, but he's got to go out at night and fucking whoop ass because he's Daredevil again. He's become Daredevil again because remember he was
Wait,
like a priest.
he's wearing that suit again.
He's
The
wearing
90s suit.
he's wearing the 90s suit or whatever with the shoulder pads and shit.
Why?
And
Okay.
I don't know, but he there's some new French like gangsters in town, you know. And so he's talking to a detective about, you know, trying to find him, and he just goes around killing motherfuckers or beating up motherfuckers, beating up the French gang, you know. And then the French gang put out a hit on him. You know, we want this motherfucker dead. You know who they get after him?
Who?
Taskmaster.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Taskmaster shows up and they have a fight.
I hated this suit in the 90s, man. This shit ugly as shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a real yeah, I mean, it's, you know, but it's you know, but the fight between Daredevil and Taskmaster, they're going back and forth and shit, you know, talking shit to each other. They know each other's, you know, it reminded me of some like a samurai movie or a fucking kung fu flick where they're like they know each other's styles, you know, trying to counter each other's fighting styles and shit, you know, or like Naruto. You know, maybe if I best them with this blow, I'll get them. You know what I mean? You know, that type of shit. And it's cool. And the art is dope. But then Elektra shows up and they start taking, then they start beating the shit out of Taskmaster. Taskmaster, okay, they only paid me to kill one. They only paid me to kill Daredevil. I didn't get paid to kill both of these guys. So I'm out. So he takes off.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, and then Daredevil and Elektra talk some shit and so, you know, you stay off the streets, Matt, blah blah blah. And then she takes off. Then he goes back to his old lady's house with the girl he's been seeing. And, you know, hey baby, what's up? He says, this is the last time you keep lying to me and going sneaking out at night. We're done. And she breaks up with him. Like, oh damn. Well, there you go.
Oh, she didn't know he's Daredevil?
Yeah. And then she breaks up with them and that's where it ends. So it's like some drama shit, you know. He's got a, you know what I mean, the superhero drama shit too. So I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and it's like it's been a while where because like I said, I've been thinking about dropping this book, you know. But you told me to wait till 25, so
right, that's the rule. So, yeah.
so I'm on 23. So, but no, I dug on this issue. I really enjoyed it. It was just a straight up old school, you know, superhero beat 'em up, fighting gangster, Daredevil beating up gangsters and fighting Taskmaster. And it was just cool. A lot of fun. Breezy read. I enjoyed it. You know, I'll give this a 5 out of 5 too. This was cool. Art was dope. Yeah, the art was dope. Who's this guy again? You know, it's Solomon Ahmed who's riding it, but this artist, this Carlos Nieto on pencils,
okay.
And Jose Luis, you know, you know, and then of course the cover,
John Romita Jr.
the cover, the next cover, the cover of 24 is gonna, yeah, your boy John Romita Jr.
My boy, okay.
JR. Yeah. So yeah, this is cool.
All right, cool. I'm trying to see what's next. Is that the one? No, that ain't the one. That's the one. Okay. So next book I'm going to read, or last book I'm going to do, I think is Avengers number 26. I think. No, it cannot Avengers 20. It is Avengers number 26. Okay, or 28. One of them. Avengers book. It's Avengers books going on right now. So yeah. Last book they fought the Masters of Evil. The Masters of Evil are taking over their base, and they beating everybody except one guy left. The one guy left is who's left? The Mad Thinker. The Mad Thinker's left. So they got to handle him. So once they handle him, then they go to it. Oh, and it's only Black Panther and Sam Wilson. That's it. So it's just them against the Mad Thinker, and he has the super adaptaway suit where he has all the powers of the Master of Evils. So yeah. So that's going on right now. So they're basically looking around. They realize that, and this is earlier what happened. They realized that the last guy left the Mad Thinking, and basically Black Panther's like, we can't outthink him. He's like, what do you mean you can't outthink him? You're the Black Panther. Of course you can outthink him. He's like, no, I can outsmart him. I can outthink him. There's a difference. So this is the plan we're going to do. And they don't say the plan, but we're going to find out what they're going to do. All right. So while they talking, then the Mad Thinker's out there looking for him and shit, where he's got all the powers of the Master of Evil, and you got Black Panther thinking. It was just like, okay, since you, what'd you do out there in space? He was like, what'd you think I did on the Black Panther? I won. That's what I always do. And that's when, bam, Mad Thinker like, oh, is that so? And so what they think is like, okay, we already beat you. Well, we already beat your team. The Master of Evil are already screwed up. So go ahead, get out that suit, surrender. Otherwise, you can get fucked up too. He was like, me? No. If I bring the Master of Evil 2 dead Avengers, then they have to obey my command and have to follow me. That means I'll be the undisputed ruler of them. So consider this a team building exercise. And he just starts fighting them. And he's actually kind of kicking their ass. They really can't do shit with him. Like I said, he's got all the powers of the Master of Evil. Like Black Panther like slashes at him and shit like that. Nothing they can do. And okay, so we got to think outside the box. And he's like, hey, thinker. And Sam pulls out a gun on him. And bam, 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 starts shooting him and shit like that. He was like, because he using one of the Master of Evil's golden guns and shit like that. He was like, I bet you didn't think of that. He was like, yeah, I did. I did think of that. But did you think of that? He started shooting with the golden gun and started dodging shit like that. Black Panther slashing, can't do shit. Like, and basically, man, I think he's just like, okay, look, y'all, I'm actually not impressed with this right now. I thought y'all were gonna give me a harder fight than this. Why don't y'all surrender? He was like, surrender? No, because this is actually part of our plan. We were stalling you because one of your Masters of Evil works for us. He was like, no, you can't outthink me. And what they did, they took one of the robot drones, hacked into him, used the robot drone to hack into the Dread Knight, one of their robot dudes and shit like that, and made him reboot the headquarters. So now whatever virus that the Master Evil put into it is reset. And now it's reset. Now the other Avengers can jump in and yeah, let's see. Bam. Do, 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 do. They don't even show what happened the next time. He just got his ass whooped. So, yeah. Yeah. So, what's going on? So, now T'Challa's back with the Avengers. He's been gone for months. And the one person is like, T'Challa, where the hell you been? And who is it? Storm. Maybe his baby mama? We don't know. He's in the list. He's in the top 5. So, let's see. So, he's like, look, honestly, I went to space because I want to get away from your ass. Really. I didn't want you on my team. I thought I was done with you, but I had some clarity. I started thinking and I realized what I need to do. She's like, okay, what do you need to do? I need to welcome an Avenger to the world because you're important to the team and you're important to me. So you got this. Oh, so is this what they make the baby? I don't know. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah. And then Sam. So they was actually going to kick Sam off the team because they thought he was too damn weak. So he had to like get a suit upgraded, shit like that. He was like, nah, I'm not. See, even though y'all got all these cosmic powers and all this bullshit like that, and he made some kind of crazy ass speech, and you got Madcap trying to free the Master of Evil, and he's like, wait a minute, I'm not done. And then Sam throws his shield, chops Madcap in half. You know, man, he's fine, he's okay. He was like I was saying, Captain America will always be an Avenger or some shit. But the end, or to be continued. They still got to fight Dr. Doom, so shit, yeah. Yeah.
Is this part of the One Nation Under Doom shit?
It is, but it isn't. That's why the Avengers weren't there, because they were fighting Dr. Doom. And that's why only T'Challa and Sam was there. But they were like, okay, now that we figured you got, now let's go back to fight Dr. Doom. So it's kind of like it is, but it's not. So it's a filler episode. So yeah. Cool, 3 out of 5, whatever. So yeah. No, I got. Anything else you got, or
no? Just some runner-ups. I mean, I got. You didn't read that new Cap?
I started to. Is that the one where like time hops in between and shit? And
I don't know, where it was like 9/11 shit. I didn't
like
read
he's
it.
there with 9/11 or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Does he like wake up in 9/11 or something?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Oh,
I was asking if you did.
No, I thought you. I read a little bit. I heard about it. Chip Zdarsky is writing it, and he's supposed to be like time hopping. Like it's supposed to show like when he originally came there, World War II, present day. It's supposed to be like back and forth, like Pulp Fiction.
Chip Zdarsky.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, it sounded interesting. It sounded interesting, but I was like, because it was like she shows up like he stopped a robbery. And she was just like, he's going to the United Nations. He's like, where's that? You're like, how the fuck you don't know what the United Nations is? Like, I just woke up. I don't know what this shit is. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was hoping you were going to read it because I was like, how many 45 pages or something.
Oh hell no, no, no.
I was hoping you were gonna read it. So
That
and
Hellfire Vigil was like 60, so shit, no.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna read it, and then I'd see if I would read it, and then
I'll catch and trade.
And, so because I know it's the new Cap run, and Chip Zdarsky's writing it. So,
yeah. I don't. After Batman, Chip Zdarsky, he got to earn my trust again. Hell, after the Daredevil run, he got to earn my trust again. That crazy shit. So
yeah. But I read that Jedi Knights, the Star Wars Jedi Knights. That's pretty cool. It's Dooku shows up back in the day, and then
nice.
Bitterroot, kind of weird. That jumps all over the place,
Really?
back and forth in time and weird shit going on. So I might have to reread that. Is there time travel or something, or time warping or something? I don't know. Bitterroot is cool. I'm digging it. I dug it. It's just like, what the fuck? So it's like it was like a setup for the last issue's coming out. It's next month. So it's one more issue. So the finale is coming out next month, and I figure I'll read it as a whole, and then
Right.
But yeah, but those are cool. That's it. That's all I got. I'm booked out.
Gotcha. Eli, I might need your help with something. I just thought about something.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, should I cancel Disney Plus?
Okay.
Think about it. I mean, what is coming out?
That Wakanda animated show.
Okay, what else you got? I need something.
I don't know. Like, what Star Wars is there? Star Wars shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is there any Star Wars shit coming out?
There's that the Darth Maul thing coming out. Ain't that coming out?
Do you know when?
I think at the end of the year. They know Marvel shit. They know Marvel.
I'm saying, like, well, what's coming out like within the next 30 days?
In the next 30 days?
Yeah, or even 60 days.
I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like
something gonna drop. What Marvel movie? It's gonna drop on Disney Plus.
I don't care. Maybe Thunderbolts, but I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Like what's dropping? I don't. It's like, damn, I can kind of let this go.
Watch that Fantastic Four, animated Fantastic Four from the 90s, man.
That flame on, no,
flame on, and on.
Can't have it, man. No. So yeah, Eli, I'm letting it go until like another Star Wars or
until
Marvel
something comes out.
Yeah, it's like I just let's go and I don't know, spend on video games.
There you go. Spend that $8 or whatever they're charging.
Yeah, no, shit, 12.
That what it is? I know. I got the bundle.
They keep going up.
I got the bundle with Hulu and Max.
That's like 17.
Is it? No, I got the ads. My shit's only like 12, dude.
Okay.
I got commercials. Yeah, and they put the
no. I think even with the ads, I think it's 16.
Is it 16 with the commercials?
Like it's 20. It's like 20 something without the ads.
Huh. All I know is they choose the shittiest times to put the commercials on.
They do it on purpose.
They don't even wait for the scene to be over. You'll be like in a mid fight, and then all of a sudden just go to commercials.
And if you rewind to a good scene, you get a commercial.
You got to go to the commercials again.
Right. Like if you write a second before, commercial. Oh, shit. That's all I got. So, yeah, it's gone, Eli. It's out of here. I want to see if you convince me. You didn't do a good job of that, so it's gone. But I'm going to give you a shout out, Eli. Appreciate you. Like I said, they played one of my songs on the radio today. You said you gave me a stream and shout out. So, shout out to Eli for giving me my one stream for the month. So there we go.
I was at the cookout. My sister was, because it was hot. It's fucking hot as fuck on the 4th. So I didn't do shit. I made tacos on the 4th of July. It stayed. It was like
burgers.
Over 100. It was over 100 degrees here. The humidity. I was like, man, I ain't going. Man, fuck the 4th. I ain't going outside. So we just chilled inside all day. Made tacos. Watched baseball. And then so my sister had a cookout today. It was a lot cooler. And I go, yo, Leroy Sung's on the radio. Check it. So yeah.
Nice. Appreciate you. So yeah. All right. So like I said, that's it. We're gonna come back next week. We'll see where it goes.
It's Superman. What are you talking about?
Superman. We're gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. I'm trying to see it as early as possible. So we're done with Ironheart talk. Sorry, we're done with Riri talk.
I'm gonna try and see I really hope my baby mama was in town, and that's like my sitter.
Gotcha. Yeah, no problem.
And now she left.
I will tell you. Yeah, I will tell you everything that happened on the show.
Superman wins. No.
My thing is people saying like this comic book movie is too comic booky. Like it's Superman. It's supposed to be. That's the
like
whole point.
The original comic book character, original superhero.
Right. Like how can it be too comic booky? That's the whole point.
It's superhero. It's half of his fucking name. Like what the fuck they expect, you dummies? Yeah.
Superhero movie.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be.
Yeah, but I'm hopeful.
Right.
I'm gonna try and see it. If I can find someone to watch my kid, I'll try and see it. If not, yeah,
Okay.
I'll have to might have to wait for streaming. Spoil the shit out of it. I know Superman's gonna be in it.
Oh, shit. We'll see who else shows up. So until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
And talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.